Okay, in last lecture you have seen the kinds of channel. Whether screen is visible? Have you
Yes, sir.
seen
Yes, sir.
screen? Okay. In last lecture, you have seen the kinds of channel, open channel. Actually, these are the categories of this channel. Canal is one type of channel, flume is another, chute is another, drop, culvert, and open flow tunnel. So all these are the kinds of open channel flow, and its utility you have seen it. Canal is especially it is utilized for the long stretch and having the slope is a mild slope which has been built in the ground. So this is the actual section of the canal, you have seen it, and it is provided for a longer run, and it is generally provided with this mild slope as per the topographical features and which has been built in the ground. So while alignment of this canal, again many problems has been occurred because of the leakages as well as the percolation losses. So better option is to go for this lining of the canal. So the lining of the canal, you can be avoid all the losses through this canal, and water is getting it passed by the gravitational pull. And even though in this alignment of the canal, you have to be observed the some of the areas is the soft strata. So better to give the treatment to the soft strata, and those soft strata becomes the hard strata, so that will let the lining. So always you have to prepare the concrete lining is the best option for minimizing these losses. So is a one type of the channel, and the broaderly, or you have to be see that is as for the future. So the most of the canals are to be constructed on the downstream part of the reservoir, and mostly the area where all the areas are getting it to be or you say that means the supply of this water through this irrigation, it will be possible through this canal, and you have to utilize majority basis with this canal aspects, that is a open channel flow. Flume is also generally utilized. Already yesterday you have seen this is the nature of the flume. Now in laboratory we have the flume, that is tilting hydraulic flume, and its length is 6 meter length, width is 300 millimeter, and depth is 300 millimeter. So this is utilized only for performing the practicals on open channel flow. So that's why we are using this flume. And why it is called the tilting? Because of that the slope can be changes with the help of the hydraulic pressure. So and it is utilized only for the hydraulic purposes. So therefore it is called as the tilting hydraulic flume. So is a channel, actually it is a channel flow which is supported on or above the surface of the ground to carry the water across the depressions. So particularly it is provided in the depression zone, and the naturally the water could not be drained it or cannot be supplied to the agricultural land. At that time you can be supplied for the particular place by using this flume. Then chute is generally nothing but it is provided for the steeper slope. As per the topography, you have to be observed it's a hilly area. On this side, you have to look out this is a hilly area, it's a hillock, and water can flow through this stream, but it has the steep slope. So when you provide this steep slope, at that time channel is provided to carry out the water on the further directions or towards this channel on the downstream side. So at that time you have to utilize the chute is a channel having the steep slope. So special condition is there, that means it has the steep slope. Now the drop, you have to be observed is a water drop, or for example you have to be observed the waterfall. So the areas is there, and suddenly change in the gradient. While changing in the gradient, then at that time you have to go with the drop options. For example, yeah, I want to tell you about the sewerage system. If the manhole is also provided along the sewerage system, then if there is a level difference, then at that time you have to provide the manholes at the lower side, so that the water can be accumulated on the lower side. So this is the way, that means the drop is to be utilized for this, because of the change in the alignment or the proper change in the gradient. At that time you may go with the drop. So the drop, while providing the drop, so if you are observing the water is getting it suddenly dropped on the downstream side like this waterfall, then it is not allowed. But the change in elevation is also there, but smoothly you guide the flow by providing the steps or by providing the channel. So this is the way to provide the drop. Otherwise, when the water flows from the higher side to the lower side and the velocity get it increased, and due to this highest velocity, again the scouring and the erosion problem should be at the bottom side. So if it has the shorter distance, then let them to allow channelize this flow by providing a slope, slanting slope. So the drop is generally provided. It's a type of this open channel flow. Then kinds of channel: culvert, CD work, cross drainage work. Generally, it is provided if is there any canal flow crosses the road. It may be the road or it may be the railroad. So at that time, you can be provide the conduits. In some of the cases, you provide the pipes. Pipe as a conduit we are providing, that is below this road. And even though you have to provide the channel, so by constructing this stone, or it is being constructed with this stone machinery, and allow the flow inside this road. So this is a flow then you call as the culvert, is a covered channel where the water can be flows partly full, and which is now installed to drain the water through the highways and the railroad embankments. So this is a channel, open channel flow. Then particularly this is a pipe is also laid into the ground, and water is getting it to be transferred toward this conduit, and water is getting it to be flows through these conduits. So it's an open flow tunnel. Even though the most of the tunnels are utilized for the conveying the water, so the tunnel may be utilized for transportation purpose is one purpose. Second thing is that for water transportation, means conveying the water from one place to the other place. Suppose the water surplus water is available on one side of the hill, and on the other side is the deposit problem. At that time, you have to go with the construction of the tunnels. So the tunnel is generally used for conveying the water. So for the from one place to the other place, where is the surcharge and where is the deposit. So actually, when I have done one project on Bhima River, actually in Solapur district, and I was undergone this project interlinking of the river basin. So the linking of the rivers. So the Bhima River has the surplus water, and the Sina River has the deficit of the water. And those waters, both the rivers are located on one side, on both the sides of hill. Then water is going to be allowed through the tunnel by constructing a tunnel, big tunnel, uh, in this around this Bhima River, and water is conveying through the tunnel, and it is going to be passed towards the Sina River, where is the deficit, and the Sina River is getting the full of water because of the Bhima water. So the tunnel can be utilized. Also, another purpose for the tunnel is to testing the explosives, blasting devices. So the Dighi is a place in Pune where the testing activity has been testing of this explosive activity has been carried, and the tunnel was buried into the soil, and it is getting it to be tested now here. So the tunnel, three purposes: for communication, for transportation of the water, and third purpose is to check the explosives. So the open flow tunnel is comparatively the long run also covered the channel used to carry the water through the hill areas or any obstructions in the ground. Suppose in any obstruction, then convey this water through this conduit. Is one kind of this channel. Then channel geometry. When do you look out the channel geometry? Channel geometry is nothing but it has the width, it has the side slope. Is that right? Also the bottom slope. So the channel geometry itself, it represents as channel built with the constant cross section. Suppose I have to use the canal. For example, Nira Devgarh project is especially utilized for conveying the water from the dam side to the Baramati, and canal is constructed for conveying the water. So that's why even though you have seen the news in newspaper, the people around this dam, that especially in the Pune district, they are not getting the water from the Nira Devgarh dam, but water are getting it towards this Baramati place. So that type of these issues, again political issues, but already it has, that is amendment has been passed to convey those water from this Nira Devgarh to the Baramati place. Already agreement was done uh, on previous year, and therefore you cannot do make it changes. So the such type of this canal is also utilized to convey the water, and throughout the stretch, suppose the Baramati is a place, it is now located is near about the 250-kilometer distance, then you have to go with the 250-kilometer length of this canal. Then while water reaching to the Baramati place, how much time is required to pass this water through this canal or this channel? It's very important part. Then what would be the slope you have to be provided? It's very important part. Second thing is that while water is going to be flowing from this Nira Devgarh to the Baramati place, so either supplying water is 20 cubics, 20 meter cube per second. So at the day dent, water must be reaching up to the 20 meter cube per second. So the geometry is also very much important. Let us decide the dimensions and achieve the economy. You know that is economical section of the canal is always you have to practice, and economical section of the channel is nothing but that is a rectangle. Either you prefer the rectangular channel or either you prefer the trapezoidal channel. So again, is the ambiguities, and you have to practice as well as for this economical channel. So the prismatic channel is nothing but you have to maintain the slope of the channel is constant throughout the length. Then you call such channel as a prismatic channel. Means you maintain the constant slope throughout the length. Then you call the prismatic channel. Otherwise, you said the channel is non-prismatic. Otherwise, you said the channel is non-prismatic.
So some students are waiting in the lobby.
And why they are late now here? They are disturbing us now. So it's very difficult to tackle those students.
They are joining since 11:30.
Nobody's there. Yes, nobody's there in waiting hall. Nobody's there. Who is telling me? Who is telling me students are waiting? Let me know the name. Who is telling me? Students are waiting. No one student is here. Only one student. So channel section is the cross section of a channel. See the section. This is a semicircular section. You observe the depth of the flow inside this channel. You observe here depth of the flow. There are the two sections along the length of this channel. Water is getting it passed from this direction. This is the direction of the flow. When I look out at section AA, I could get this depth of water is Y, and at the section of BB dash, I should get the D value, small d, depth of the water. Means depth is also varying. Slope is also, slope of the channel is a theta. But I have to observe here at this section the lower depth, but at this section I have to observe the depth is more than this earlier one. So these variations you have to be observed along this channel flow. So the channel section is the cross section of a channel taken normal to the direction of the flow. This is normal to the direction of the flow. Vertical channel section is the vertical section passing through the lowest or bottom point of the channel section. So the geometric elements of the channel section. So the depth of the flow Y is very much important part in the channel section. And in the channel sections, you are looking the three depths actually: normal depth, critical depth, and actual depth. Y, Yn, and Yc. It denotes the symbol Yn for normal depth. Yc stands for the critical depth. And critical depth of the flow is decided on the basis of Proud's number. And actual depth of the flow is a Y. Then always you compare the results with Y, Yn, and Yc, and based on that you decide the surface profile of the channel. Either it may be the mild surface flow channel, either it may be the steep slope channel, either it may be the horizontal slope channel, either it may be the adverse slope channel. So this is the way to classify the flow based on the depth of the flow and compare the actual depth of the flow with normal depth. And if you are observing Y is equal to Yn, then the entire flow you have to be observed inside the channel is a uniform flow. But the depth of the flow is varying with respect to the normal depth. Then such type of the flow you have to be called as the non-uniform flow, variations in the depth throughout the stage. And compare this result, that is with respect to this Yn and Yc for actual depth. And let us decide either Y is greater than Yn, or Y is greater than Yn and Yc, or Y is equal to Yn, or Y is less than Yn or less than Yc. Based on this condition, you define the surface profile for the channel. So the geometry is geometrical elements are very much important to decide the channel flow. So is the vertical distance C, that is Y is the actual depth of the flow, and D is the normal depth. You see this is a normal depth perpendicular to the direction of the flow. So which will make the angle of the theta with the Y. This is the bottom portion of the channel, red color, which will make the inclination as the theta, and the water surface level, blue line, indicates the water surface level. So which indicates this is the level of the water, this symbol. So the level of the water is from this datum located at a height of H. Z is the datum height of this bottom of this channel. Y is the actual depth of the flow, and D is the normal depth, that means which is normal to the flow. This is a D, and theta is the angle made with this channel. So all these are the geometry of this channel, and you remember this. Then depth of the flow section, when it is normal to the direction of the flow. So the depth of the flow, D is the depth of the flow, but which is normal to the direction of the flow. But I cannot say Y is equal to D. Is it same? Either this Y and D remain same. Let me answer. Whether Y and D remain same. So I am asking you, please students, answer me.
No,
Yes? Huh? Yes or no? Are you there?
not exactly, but probably.
Yes? Either Y is equal to D.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So practically it is not possible on field. If it is possible, then you called the normal flow, or you call the uniform flow, where the depth of the flow remains the constant throughout the stage. Then such type of the flow is called the normal uniform flow. But practically it is not possible. Y is equal to the D. Always it has the change. Therefore, if the D makes an angle with the Y makes the angle with the D as a theta, and D is also going to be defined as D is equal to Y cos theta, because Y is the vertical component. Y is the vertical component, and always you measure the total energy line with respect to this Y, not with respect to the D. Please remember. So whenever you have to look out the TEL is nothing but summation of all the heads, potential head, kinetic head, and the datum head. But while look out this potential here. At that time, y you measured in vertical directions, but you are not considering the d. So the d, how you define d? So d is nothing but y cos theta. It's horizontal component of this y, which will make the angle of the theta. So d is equal to y cos theta. So for mild slope channel, so you always compare with y and the d, especially it is approximately equal to d for normal slope channel. Now all of you note down this. This is very much important part, and always the question shall be asked in GATE, as well as the question shall be asked in MPC examinations, always as the question shall be asked on geometry of the canal in UPSC exam. So top width of the channel is T. So the T is the width of the channel section at the free surface. And weighted area, I'm telling you weighted area, only the area where the water can flow. This red mark is the weighted area. Suppose the section of the canal is up to this point, but water is flowing up to this D depth. So at that time, I have to consider, not considering the whole area of the channel, but I have to consider the weighted area of this channel. So the perimeter, P indicates the perimeter of the channel, and I have to concern with this weighted area A. Then weighted perimeter, you have to look out this red boundary at the bottom up to the level of water. This indicates the weighted perimeter. So the weighted perimeter is nothing but, or weighted area is the cross-sectional area of the flow normal to the direction of the flow. Weighted perimeter is nothing but is the length of the line of intersection of the channel weighted surface with a cross-sectional plane normal to the direction of the flow. Now the question shall be asked on hydraulic radius and hydraulic depth. While going to the next part and designing this canal or solving the problems on this canal or this channel, then you have to get these two values. In some of the problems, it has given hydraulic radius, and in some of the problems given the hydraulic depth. So hydraulic depth is nothing but ratio of weighted area to the weighted perimeter. Please remember. But hydraulic radius is not equal to the hydraulic depth. When you have to you are knowing, that means hydraulic depth, or you are remembering the hydraulic depth. At that time, hydraulic depth, it has the symbol D, and for hydraulic radius has the symbol of capital R. So the hydraulic depth, please remember, be careful about this hydraulic depth. So D is equal to the ratio of weighted area to the top width of the channel. So hydraulic depth, D is nothing but the A by T, and hydraulic radius is nothing but A by P. So do you remember this? Do you understand this difference? All of you understood this difference?
Yes, sir.
Or sometimes question hydraulic radius is defined by either A by T, or sometimes the question shall be asked hydraulic depth is defined by. You have the many options. In that options, A by P is given, A by T is also given. Also only the dimensions of the channel is given. Then which one is the correct for hydraulic depth? Then you think over that and your answer must be. And routinely you have to utilize more this hydraulic radius for solving the problem. And because of your practice, you are remembering only the R values, but you are not remembering the hydraulic depth, and you are forgetting these parameters A by T. And instead of A by T, you are taking A by P. That means the big mistake. So please remember and be conscious about this hydraulic radius and hydraulic depth. Now look out the channel geometry. See the different cross sections based on the shape: circular, trapezoidal, and rectangular channel. See the trapezoidal channel, see the rectangular channel, see the circular channel. So in circular channel, you have to observe AC is equal to, this is the area. I will tell you, that means the derivations on the most efficient section after this presentation. Before to that, you remember only the channel geometry. So it's a circular in nature. It's a trapezoidal section. Y is the actual depth of the flow. It's a top width. Theta is the angle made by the sides of the channel. B is the bottom width of this channel. Then as usual, area by P for trapezoidal sections, area for the circular sections. This is geometrical part, mathematical part, and this is for the rectangular sections. R is equal to A by P, where it represents YB by B plus 2Y. The weighted perimeter does not include the free surface. Examples of R for common geometries as shown in this figure on the left hand side. Then please take this table for the areas, weighted perimeters. You may be required all these values for the different section. For triangular channel, based on the shape, if it is a rectangular, then only two dimensions H and B. Then how to find out flow areas, weighted perimeter, hydraulic radius as well as hydraulic depth. Please remember hydraulic radius and hydraulic depth, top width for rectangular, so B into H, weighted perimeter B plus twice H for rectangular. Hydraulic radius is weighted area by weighted perimeter. This is BH by 2H. Hydraulic depth DH is H values, and this top width B is nothing but the small b. So A by T is the value, that is hydraulic depth, that is top width by this. Do you know this one is A by T and A by P. So the area for the rectangular channel B into Y, top width is again the B, so therefore it becomes only the D. So that is H value is for the hydraulic depth, and here you observe the radius BH by B plus twice H. Then for trapezoidal section, if it has made the slope 1s to m, side slopes of this channel, bottom width is B, top width is capital B, then decide the dimensions, geometry. This is for triangular, this is for circular, and this is for parabolic. So please note down. Have you noted this? All of you noted this? All of you noted this?
Wait, sir.